Hi everybody. I was taking a break and I'm still kind of taking a break. I guess a lot of this has to do with, I have some personal issues with some things that need doing at the house and things that my husband needs doing, and he's having issues and with pain and other things, and we've got projects we're trying to complete. And sorry about the dirty shirt. I was out in the barn today and I can't get out there without getting dust all over me. Here's the big truth about keeping chickens: they create a lot of dust with their dander, with their feed scratching, with their bedding breaking down. There's a lot of dust in chicken. I mean, I can't get out without getting dust, and I just didn't check myself before I came out here. But a lot of it has to do with it being the end of summer. Not that I'm happy that I'm upset that it's going. It's that I wish it would go faster, because I don't like summer. It's necessary to grow food if you want to grow food, but yeah, it's just I don't like summer. I don't like the heat. I don't like humidity. Yeah, just not happy with summer. I like the fall, and I'm so ready for fall, and it's been raining for days and I'm sick of that. So I don't know, it's just a number of things, and frankly a lot of things have been going on, and it's just too much to even talk about. I don't want to make a video every single day, and when I'm not here, there's a lot of content. I don't know, people always look for new content. But on my channel, because of the nature of the channel, because this is an education channel about certain things, about being self-sufficient and living frugally, and making choices, and raising chickens, something of which I know a great deal about. I have playlists, and you can go to the chickens playlist and you will find a plethora of information about raising chickens, about chicken health, about what to do, about what not to do, and I know wherever I speak on that subject. I don't feel as much an expert on other subjects. In fact, I like to talk about my failures. Even with chickens, I talk about my failures, because chickens don't always read their breed manuals and the textbook. So there's always something that'll pop up that you've never seen before, even no matter how long you keep them. And I've kept them for over 17 years now. But one thing I did want to talk about, and it keeps coming up, and I keep seeing it, but I wanted to encapsulate the message about this last speech by the installed person in the position of president. That threatening, creepy-ass, dystopian, Hitlerian, Third Reich performance, and it was a performance, and I'll tell you why. With the black and red satanic-looking background, and the two Marines, why were they there? The Marines are not his personal police force. They're not the Secret Service. The Marines, they're not the SS and the Gestapo, but I know it was a performance. Of course, he did not write that speech. All he did was read off a teleprompter, and he read pretty good off a teleprompter. And you know why? Because of the IV with the medication going in, as every Alzheimer's and dementia patient would need to stand up there long enough to be lucid and coherent. He has to be on medication. He has to have a script. He can't go off script, and he can't be off medication. I know it was a performance, and this speech was written by someone else, obviously, without any input from him. All he did was read it, because the next day he was asked about it, and he pretty much had no idea what he'd said. He backtracked, and somebody said, "Do you really believe blah blah blah?" And he says, "No, I don't think that. I don't think that." So he didn't know, because he didn't write it, because he's not the one that was given the speech. This entire thing, the message was not what came out of his mouth. Mark my words, that the message was not what came out of his mouth, because he said all that same crap all over again. He said it in the past. He said it ever since the campaign. He's been spouting off about Donald Trump ever since the campaign. Same old, blah, 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 same stuff. Lies, manipulation, all the same stuff. A man couldn't tell the truth. If he wouldn't know the truth if it jumped up and slapped him in the face, which it really should. A lot of these women should slap him in the face. The message was not what came out of his mouth. The message was that background. That was your message. And do you know what all that Third Reich, his theatrics was about? Do you know what the message was? Get it loud and clear, people. The message to you was fear the state. It was, you better be afraid. You better watch out. You better toe the line. We're going to get you. If you don't, we're going to take your constitutional rights, and you better not say a word about it. We're going to pretend you don't have any. It was fear the state. The message was that setup. That background was the message. If you didn't get that, get it now. That was your message. And let me clear up something. MAGA Republican. What is this MAGA Republican? They're using it to be synonymous with Trump supporter, but MAGA, the phrase that Trump coined during his campaign before he was elected, Make America Great Again, it simply means you support our constitutional republic and law and our laws and the standards. It supports it. Make America Great Again does not necessarily mean that you are what they call a rabid Trumper. I don't know what that's about. It doesn't necessarily mean that. If you don't want this country to be great, if you don't want this country to be positive and productive and on its feet, why are you even here? Leave. Plenty of, the country borders, they kind of work both ways. You can leave. I mean, they may not want you, though. I mean, why would you want these entitled Americans down anywhere? Unless you want them for hostages, But MAGA doesn't mean necessarily Trump supporter. And you know what? I wouldn't support him if he went ahead and went the way of everybody else. Waffling on the Constitution, waffling on citizens' rights. He would lose all my respect as well. So my support for him is predicated on his support for me. You see what I'm saying? So let's just get that straight about that message. You don't have to worry about what he said, because he said it all before in different words, different ways, different phrasings. He said all the same stuff before. Because that's the words of the puppeteers. That's not his words. Because he doesn't even know what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's saying. I guarantee you he does not know what he is saying. He's having words put in his mouth. He's propped up with drugs, and they say, read this. Everybody will worship you. If anything, that speech really showed you what they are. That was a turning point. If you didn't realize this government was illegitimate already, you should know that now. If that didn't convince you, there is no hope for you. It put the final nail in the coffin, as far as I'm concerned. They're gonna work on making you a criminal, even if you aren't. Even if you have not done nothing illegal, They are now going to work to make you a criminal by changing the laws on you after you've done something, like purchasing a solvent trap for your firearm. You know what a solvent trap is? It's a little gun accessory that screws on there, and it's exactly what it says, a solvent trap. That's where all the cleaning fluids can run when you're cleaning your weapon. It's a trap for the solvents. Somebody got wind that maybe somebody might be using them for, jerry-rigged suppressors, which they don't do a good job of. And so if you purchase an accessory for your firearm legally, which is legal to do, if you purchase one of those, the ATF is going to show up at your door and demand to see it. And do you know what your reply is going to be? I'm not answering questions. Do you have a warrant? 9 times out of 10, they don't. And don't answer a question. In fact, I wouldn't continue the conversation. I saw an example of a man who continued the conversation. He did the right things. He didn't say anything wrong. But to me, the worst thing he did was keep talking. The more you talk, the more you're likely to say something they can grab onto and use. Even if it's not technically a wrong thing to say. If somebody shows up at your door and asks you, well, we have this on record that you purchased such and such and such and such, legally. Now, and we want to see them. Can we show them to them? You're like, do you have a warrant? No. Slam. Don't even say another word. Don't even say goodbye, have a nice day. Just slam the door. Because everything they do after that, if they do anything further and knock down your door, you have them. They want to make you a criminal. And the thing is, people don't know their rights. A family member purchased a firearm and says, oh, do I have to go register it now? It's like, well, if you did it through a store, they already know you got it. No, you don't have to get on a registry. It's your constitutional right to own that. You don't have to get on a registry. This is why at feed stores, I have never purchased anything in a feed store with a credit card or a check. Or I don't even own a debit card. I only have an ATM card that cannot be used as a debit card. That was by my choice. I told the bank, limit it so it cannot be used as a debit card. Only ATM. I've never purchased anything at a feed store with anything other than legal tender cash. I would suggest if you buy any accessories for your freedom seeds or anything else that you pay cash. I know you can't buy online without that, but I think the time is coming where you're not going to be able to buy much online without everybody knowing what you're doing. Of course, every time you buy anything online, you have to use a credit card, you have to use PayPal, you got to use some kind of payment method that is not cash, something that is trackable. And I would not buy anything that I don't want somebody to know I've got online. See what I'm saying? So, they're going to make you a criminal in spite of the fact that you aren't. And the thing is, I'm ready to be one because the Constitution guarantees my right to do certain things. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. They're trying to kill all 3 of those. They're trying to kill your Second Amendment, your First Amendment. They're trying to kill everything that has made this country what it is and made this constitutional republic survive far longer than any other constitutional republic ever has. We're on borrowed time already. And now they're working overtime to kill it. So just remember that speech. Every time you question, well, why are they doing so and so? The entire message of that was the background that was worthy of the Third Reich. It was worthy of Hitler. And I've seen exactly the same background with Hitler, doing the same, like Biden does. Looks just like him when he does it. The message was the background. It was that threatening, dystopian, Hitler-esque background. That with the Marines standing there like they were the SS, saying, and it said, fear the state. It was warning you. It was threatening you. So that's my take on that. Now, I may not do another video for a while. I don't know. If you're coming here for just political commentary, you're probably in the wrong place. I don't believe that freedom is political. I don't believe my God-given rights that are reiterated in the Constitution are political. I have a right to defend my family. I have a right to eat what the hell I want to eat. I have a right to feed my children what I want them to have. The government doesn't give me rights. This is the mistake people always make. The government gives me the right. No, the government does not give you those rights. And the Second Amendment was created for the purpose of protecting us against an overreaching government. And 87,000 armed IRS agents is overreach. So, start thinking on that. Start thinking of the intimidating message that you were just given. You were just given in this public forum. Went out to the nation. Probably had an audience of 3 because nobody shows up to hear him speak. You see, they don't pan out to the wide crowds on his because there are none. You know, I'm getting tired of people calling the number 45 a Nazi. They obviously have no idea what Nazi is. That background, honey, that was a Nazi. That was communist right there. That was the most beautiful illustration of what our government is turning into. And without him saying a word, all he had to do was stand in front of it. So I'm going to go. But start getting ready. And I'm telling you, I think you need to not only, I know people talk about growing gardens. I'm not eating as many vegetables because my health, the most nutrient dense foods are animal protein, not vegetables. I grow some vegetables so that I can have survival food in case my meat supply runs out. I bought a lot of the Keystone meats, cases of them, when my, before the prices went up. When the chicken and the beef and all were like $6.98 a can, and now they're like $10 or $11 a can. But I haven't bought any in a while. So think about not just surviving, but thriving. And I think you need to think about your health when things fall apart and they will not allow you to go to the grocery stores. Just like in Cuba when the grocery stores are locked except for certain hours. And then they open the doors and everybody rushes up to the store and you have almost no choices. And it's kind of like what it's looking like in my local Walmart right now. Not a lot of choices. But, you know, shop the yellow stickers in the meat department. We just did that and got some Wagyu beef, which, you know, is it's like the best beef in the world, from Japanese breeds of cattle. And very, very cheap for that, on sale. So, and it was melted like butter in your mouth. Shop those sales. Go to Walmart early in the morning. Shop the yellow stickers, the yellow sales stickers. That's the only way you're going to survive these days. Unless you got more money than I do. So anyway, just think every time you wonder what's going on and why they're doing what they're doing, think about that nasty communist background that the so-called president stood in front of to deliver that message to you. And you'll know what they're doing. But like I said, look at my playlist. This is not all about politics. This is about surviving. I want you to survive. I don't want you to be starving and show up on my doorstep because you will be turned away. And that includes family, because I've told you. I doubt they would be showing up anyway, because, you know, they don't watch my channel. They don't watch my channels. They think they know best, so, you know, leave them to their own devices. All you can do is offer the message. If they don't want to hear it, you knock the dust off your feet and walk out. That's all you can do. So I'm going to let you go. I don't know when another video is going to come out. But that's my take on that speech. It just had a 3-word message, fear the state, and that was it. And it was not Joe Biden's message, it was the puppeteers' message. The people who are really in control. He's not in control of his own faculties, much less the country. So, catch y'all later. Be safe. And keep preparing.